Lofts are useful when you want to create a surface between two or more profiles. For example, looking at the bike frame, we can see that across the top we have 5 different profiles, different shapes that we want to loft between. We've also got profiles going down the bike, 3 different profiles, and with both of those sets we want to have those lofts follow guides. Over here we've got 3 profiles. If I rotate, you can see these 2 profiles at the bottom for the bike fork, and right up here we want to loft between those 3 profiles, and we want it to follow a path. So let's go ahead and try some of these different loft tools. You'll find the loft tool on both the solid and the surface ribbon tab. You can create a solid or surface loft, and depending which ribbon tab you choose from, that will be the default type of object that it creates. So for example, when I choose loft from the surface ribbon tab, it automatically puts the loft command in surface mode. If I decide that I want it to be a solid, I could change the mode right there and change it to solid mode. But let's make sure we've got it set to surface. And then we simply select the cross sections. So here I'll select 3 cross sections that I want the lofted surface to pass through. Now, as I accept those cross sections, you can see that it's going exactly from one profile to the next. But if I want it to follow the path, where I have this bluish line, then I can actually give it a path, use the path option, and now you'll see that it smoothly passes between those profiles and also follows that path. Let's take a look at some other loft options. As I mentioned up here, we've got 5 different profiles, and we want it to pass between those profiles but also follow these guidelines. So let's go ahead and use the Loft tool. I'll select those 5 profiles. And again, you can see it's going exactly between those, and it's pretty close to those guides, but it's not following those guides precisely. So I have to specify the guides option and then pick those spline guides that I want it to follow as it passes through the profiles. And it's the same process for this loft over here. In this case I have 3 profiles and 2 guides. Now notice that shape, this one's more obvious. So it just smoothly passes between those profiles. But if I choose the guides option, it will have quite a different shape. Now to create the next loft, I'm going to go ahead and unhide some objects. I have hidden objects in my drawing. You can see down here in the right corner. I will end the object isolation. And you can see right here that I've got an existing surface. This is an extruded surface, but I want to smoothly loft between the edge of that surface and a profile that I can barely see right down here. I'll go ahead and hide this lofted surface so that we can see that profile better. So I want to create a loft between this surface and this profile right here. I'll use the same Surface Loft tool. Now instead of selecting the circle that defines the edge of this existing surface, I want to be sure and select the surface itself. To do that, I'm going to hold down the Control key and select on the edge of that surface, and then I'll select the lower surface as the other end of my loft. Now this is an important distinction. Because I selected an existing surface as opposed to just a circle or a profile up here, there's actually continuity between that existing surface and my new lofted surface. And I can specify the type of continuity, whether I've got G0, G1, or G2 curvature. I'll go ahead and leave it at G1.